I'd like to share with you a few thoughts on having false accusations. False accusations. How do you How do you handle when somebody accuses you of something that you didn't do? How do you handle that? Well, it seems like there's two ways that I try to handle people giving me, making false accusations against me. One, if it's somebody that you know very well and you can talk to them, then you would, take them aside and said, now you said I did this and said this, but can I tell you I really didn't, and being honest. Now those kind of people they're pretty close friends. Or they're relatives that you really like and really like you. You know how all our relatives love us, but they don't really, some of those relatives don't really like us. I spoke this weekend in Napa, California, and I talked to them about the people that try to pull us down, and that's family members that try to, you know, because of their jealousy of our lives or because they don't like our lifestyle, they have tendencies to give us a hard time. So when I thought about that, I thought, yeah, those kind of people you couldn't talk to. So whenever, so there's two ways you can handle false accusations. Number one, you could take the person aside and in a very calm way, and maybe not right when the false accusation comes out. Many times we need to sit on something and let some time. Right now, I've got somebody I'd talk to about a situation, and I let the person cry and explain why their emotions were, and then in a couple days, I'm going to talk to them about what we talked about and really give them correction. Sometimes we really need to, just give it some time. Some of us, though, we're afraid if we give them time that we won't remember. Well, if we don't remember, evidently the Lord didn't want us to do anything about it. That's one way you can look at it. So that's the first way that you can handle a false accusation. The second way you can handle a false accusation is to do what Jesus did. Of course, everybody knows in Mark 15:5, but Jesus yet answered nothing. But Jesus yet answered nothing. When they made all the accusations against him and said, you think you're the son of God, and all this, he just answered him nothing. And the rest of that verse, I don't know if you even noticed it before, and when I was reading my Bible, I noticed it, and I thought, this is something. But Jesus yet answered nothing, so that Pilate marveled. Pilate marveled. I think Pilate knew that Jesus was the Son of God. He knew he was a miracle worker and that he had extra special powers. But he marveled that he didn't say a word. And sometimes, ladies, you're so much better off not to say a word. Not to defend yourself, not to try to explain, just let somebody think bad of you. I can't even tell you how many times I've had somebody say something to me and accuse me of doing something, and it wasn't somebody I could talk to them about it. I turned away from that person, walked away from them, feeling pretty dejected and hurt. But then I got a hold of myself and said, you know what, Lord, you've got to protect my reputation to that person, especially if it's somebody in leadership that you want them to think good. Lord, could you work it out that they would see good in me? Could you work it out that they would see the truth? How much better our relationships would be if we practice these two principles about false accusations. Hey, let's try to do it. Rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say rejoice.